Your Academic Skills Center presents this video series to help you strengthen your statistics skills.
Hello STAT students, and welcome to the last video in this video series, the reflection video. My name is Janine Allwright, and I am the instructional specialist at Walden's Academic Skills Center, where I lead the statistics tutoring team. In this video presentation, I'm going to reflect with you on the gained knowledge as a result of these videos in this series. I'm going to briefly talk about SPSS and the data sets that I used in this series. I will refresh your memory on the knowledge that you gained from the descriptive statistics portion and all the inferential statistics videos, and I will once more address the concept of social change. Once we complete the reflection portion, we're also going to look forward. Where can you take your knowledge next? I want to encourage you to organize your classwork and collect from your classroom as much as possible. I want to motivate you to keep reading in Walden's library and keep building on your Walden village. Let's get started. If you viewed the first video in this video series, then you might remember that I mentioned a certain uneasiness when we are asked to engage with statistics for the first time. If that was the case for you at the start of this video series, then ask yourself where your level of uneasiness is now, right? I'm convinced that you were able to overcome that and that you've grounded yourself in your statistical knowledge. We now know that stats is not about math, but that it truly tells the story of the data. A proactive approach is always helpful, and just watching these videos as that additional optional resource for your classroom work can help in that direction. We know that statistics is a new language, and we have familiarized ourselves now with the statistical concepts. And we also know that learning statistics takes time. Sometimes we need to allow ourselves time to have these complicated statistical concepts percolate. In this video series, I worked with SPSS version 27. It might well be that when you are asked to work with SPSS that you are in a more advanced version. SPSS frequently updates, as does the Walden license code. The license code is only valid for 1 year, so if you want to work with SPSS at a future date, please check the license code. I worked with a combination of real and simulated data sets for the purpose of the presentations in this video series, but if you are watching this video series for the purpose of classroom work, then surely you have now acquainted yourself with real data sets. To review, as far as the descriptive component is concerned, you now know the different levels of measurement. We have two main levels, categorical and continuous, that can further be separated by nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. We also know that we use the level of measurement to describe our variables. That's different for categorical variables than it is for continuous variables. And we've been made aware that the measures of central tendency can differ for level of measurement, including the measures of variability. Now that you've refreshed your knowledge on the descriptive component of this video series, let's move on to the inferential statistics. We engage with different kinds of research questions. We addressed comparative research questions with the t-tests and the ANOVA. We engage with relational research questions with the correlation test and the chi-square. And we verbalized predictive research questions when we worked with the linear regression test. We evaluated bivariate regression models as well as multivariate regression models. I also explained throughout this video series how to interpret for social change, and let me bring that social change definition up again. I'm talking here about positive social change, right? That results in the improvement of human and social conditions. And I always view this from the standpoint of the stakeholders. Who wants to know about your inferential statistics results? And who benefits from knowing? Now that concludes our brief reflection here on what we learned in this video series. Let's look ahead to see where you can next take your knowledge. If you were using this video series as a refresher for any statistics course or use this as an optional component for your classroom work, then qualitative analysis might be next for you. For most of you here at Walden at the graduate level, you will engage with your Introduction to Quantitative Reasoning and Analysis course and your follow-up Introduction to Qualitative Analysis. Based on your program, it's never too late to start thinking ahead about your capstone. For some programs, the advanced course in qualitative and quantitative is mandatory, but for most of you, the choice for the advanced course will align with the methodology that you choose for your dissertation process. Are you planning a quantitative methodology for your dissertation process? Well, then you would have to complete the Advanced Quantitative Analysis course. And before you start that course, please come and visit the Academic Skills Center because we have some awesome resources for you to review. And let me show you where these resources live. Here is the ASC website. And of course, this is where you found the video series. I recommend that you bookmark this for yourself so you can always come back and find the series, but you can also find it on YouTube. When you click on the tutoring button here on the top left, you will reach the Skills and Success resources. Click on that box and click through all the way on Statistics, Research Courses, and there is a review page here where resources have been collected that are all of a scholarly nature. They are produced in-house here at the Academic Skills Center, and it offers resources week by week for you as optional resources for review. If you are set to engage with the 8260 course, I recommend that you scroll through the 8210 resources here to refresh your knowledge. And of course, if you are reviewing this video series to refresh your knowledge about the 8260 course, we have also grouped all the resources for that course here, organized by subject and by week. In the first video here in this video series, I mentioned that it helps to organize your classroom work and keep your computer organized as well. And I showed a hypothetical classroom folder for that purpose then, but I'm actually going to show you a classroom folder that I created when I was a student here at Walden. As you might have heard me mention before, I am a Walden graduate, and I too engaged with the Introduction to Quantitative Reasoning and Analysis course and the Advanced course because in my case, I engaged with a quantitative methodology for my dissertation. But here you see that initial course as part of all the courses I took here at Walden, and you can see that I numbered and named all of them. I've also named my classroom folders here. I have all the material from that course still on my computer, and I've organized my weeks by title. My classroom work, as in the assignments and the discussion posts, were also named. And you can see here that I have a paper, for instance, here in week 6 that was called Sampling Strategy and Sample Size. My discussion post has also been named. I also have all the replies and the thread of all the discussion posts. And I want to encourage you to organize your classroom resources as well, because in my experience, I personally grabbed back to each and every course that I studied here at Walden to support myself with resources during the dissertation process. I think it's a good idea to organize that after your course comes to an end. I also want to encourage you to download all the resources in the classroom for as much as that is possible. All the videos can be downloaded as well as the transcripts, even resources that are optional and that you didn't engage with in your current course. I still recommend that you download everything as PDFs and organize that in your classroom folder. After 90 days, access to the classroom will come to an end, and you don't want to lose that opportunity to engage with these resources. For those of you currently engaged with statistics courses at Walden, it's very well possible that article critiques were part of the requirement in your classroom work. And to that end, you must have engaged with the Walden Library. And I want to take you to the Walden Library one more time to show you some neat features in the library that can help you move forward. Of course, I want to encourage you to read and keep on reading. The skill set that you developed in your article critiques are skill sets that you can bring forward, but there are some databases that might be of interest for you when it comes to your methodology knowledge. Here is that library website. When I click on the databases tab, there is a database under the S of SAGE, and it's called the SAGE Research Methods Online Database. And it has come up here now for me, and you can see that there is an opportunity for you to create a login, but also to create a profile. This is why you can find knowledge for your quantitative methodology, your qualitative methodology, or your mixed method information. More often than not, you will not be able to use the textbooks that come from your statistics course, but you would have to go back to the source or at least find a broader piece of literature and theory to support your statistical write-ups, including the testing of assumptions. But you also find a wealth of information here for each methodology. And I recommend to set up a profile here because there's a really neat feature. You can publish your profile and share that information of collected resources here with other students at Walden. And that is truly brilliant because as much as you can share your profile, you can also browse other people's profiles. So might you be working on a specific method for your dissertation? You can find other people that possibly use that same method, and you can then look at their resources list as a starting point for your own insight. So I can highly recommend the SAGE Research Methods database in the library. Don't wait till you are engaging with that dissertation process to learn more about your research methodologies, but educate yourself as you move forward. Now let's move back to the PowerPoint. We have talked about our qualitative analysis, our capstone, our advanced quantitative analysis review folders. I've shown you how to organize your classwork, and I've motivated you to keep reading and engage with that SAGE Research Methods database in the library. Lastly, I want to talk about your Walden Village. Your learning experience here at Walden is never meant to be an isolating experience. I hope that by now you found some friends at Walden. Maybe you have peers in the classroom. I always recommend that you build on that village though. We have a wonderful peer mentor program that most of you are familiar with. And actually, I want to show you something that the peer mentors have brought us. Here on the landing page at the Academic Skills Center, you actually have access to the doctoral resources and support button here. And when you click on the doctoral peer mentors, you will find the peer advice for students. And that is a wonderful peer mentoring page that the mentors have put together for every aspect of your learning experience. There is a specific box for your dissertation and capstone time. And I want to encourage you to engage with that early. If you want to have some motivation, if you want to build up your confidence or understand that you are not alone in that process, please feel free to visit here and select these different options. You can learn here how to choose a doctoral capstone project, the best strategies to prepare it, what do you need to complete your doctoral capstone, and how do you complete it. This is a wonderful resource where your peers have put together strategies and tips from their perspective. You also have faculty members. A lot of you become friendly with your faculty and stay in touch all the way through. The same goes for staff members. And I want you to know that we here at the Academic Skills Center, as your staff member, are always happy to hear from you. So please stay in touch. But the most important takeaway from this is that your village is what is going to help you in your dissertation process. It takes a village to complete a dissertation. At some point, you're going to come up against some hills during your dissertation process, or maybe you have to conquer a mountain. And if you have built on your Walden Village, you will have that support system ready to get you through the process. Take advantage of the people that you meet during the full process and the full learning experience here at Walden. So when you come to that dissertation process, that you know that you have the support to get through that process. And with this last mention of the Walden Village, this video presentation about the reflection and the video series has now come to an end.
Thank you for watching this video presentation. If you have course-level statistics questions, reach out to our stats tutors at statsupport@mail.waldenu.edu or view our statistics support resources at academicskills.waldenu.edu.